Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Jack McEwan on Psychedelic Porn Crumpets Origin.
I guess let's jump in with the origin story. And I mean, I guess I have to ask about the name.
Yeah, the old psychedelic porn crumpets. Man, I have no idea about the name. It was sort of just ridiculous and outrageous, and we watched a lot of Mighty Boosh at the time. So I think we wanted a band where Noel Fielding would be part of it. He was definitely a massive influence. And then it was sort of like a uni project for like branding. Like I did graphic design, so that was something I could easily create a product around. And now it's become my life, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So it's just become full circle. Whatever's going on, kind of that's the ticket, I suppose now. But with the barn where I like was living at the time, yeah, like music wise, it started off as sort of just a jam project, I suppose. Like we'd just get together and everyone would hang out Friday, Saturday, even Sunday, much to the demise of our neighbours. Yeah, we had one bloke who was, I can't remember his name. I think his name was Steve, but yeah, he used to come around with a cornetto, like an ice cream, and it would be like 3 in the morning. I'd be like, okay, like we are sorry, but we were like 20 years old back then, so we didn't really consider them like music fans. We thought we were more important, which we definitely weren't. So
Right. What year was this?
man, that would have been like 2013, maybe 2014.
So good decade. You got a good decade between then and now.
Yeah, yeah, it was. It was a long time ago.
Fantastic. When I listen to it, I hear all kinds of stuff. Let me ask you what you feel like the influences are, what shaped what you call the porn crumpets these days.
Man, it like from when it started to where it is now, I think it's always going to change. But like originally, there was so much local music in Perth that just couldn't be ignored. Like obviously the big ones are Tame Impala and Pond, and then there was bands called the Red Engine Caves, and Hideous Sun Demon and the Love Junkies, and it was almost like there was a scene where you would go down to these cool little pop-up kind of bars or things that, like we played in a distillery one time, or we'd go down to our friends had like this art gallery kind of space that they turned into a music venue, and it had like a skate ramp in it. And then even the local skate crew who were called Soggy Bones, they're still going, but they had like a half pipe and they used to put gigs on, backyard gigs. And it felt like sort of growing up in Perth at that moment, like that music was sort of the thing that people enjoyed. And I just remember being like, oh my God, like finally finding a bunch of other long haired yahoos who were just learning to play guitar or talking about pedals. And it was like for a long time after I'd left school and sort of was at uni, I was almost into like drum and bass and that kind of stuff where it was more like hands on. Oh, this boy, that was it. Just plugging away, like yeah, passion away, making some tunes. But I suppose once you met like-minded people who were also into like the OCs and Brian Jonestown Massacre and a lot of American bands as well that we would share like MP3s, you know what I mean? It was like literally someone came in with a USB, like, and they'd be like, "Oh, here you go," like, and so you'd get their catalog and you'd do it that way. Whereas now it's one link, and now
Right.
I feel like I'm old enough to be able to say like back in my day, but yeah, that's pretty
Right.
funny.
I could turn around and say, back in my day, it was a cassette tape. You had
Yeah, yeah,
45
yeah,
minutes each side to show off what your favorite things were at the moment.
yeah.
God help me. So, what's the songwriting look like? Is it a collaborative thing? Do you guys write individually, bring stuff in?
Yeah, it's sort of. I suppose it's always been myself with the sort of ideas, and I have a little studio at home. You're on the other end of it, so you can't really see the desk, but there's like all bits and pieces here, and so I'll tend to sort of go to town in Ableton a lot of the time. Like it would be writing a song, and then I started getting used to putting these, like, I don't know, just build it and build it and build it and almost see where I could go myself before I'd take it to everyone else. But when we did first start off, it was a lot of like, I didn't really know how to record, so I would go and say, here's a riff. And then a lot of the time you'd spend 8 hours and you come out with nothing. So it was just like, I remember being like, oh my God, like, that's not how it went, or this is not how it went. So I think I spent a lot more time focusing on how to try and get the idea right at home before showing people. So there's sort of like a stem, or at least some drums and bass and some vocals, and they're like, oh, sweet, now we can sort of expand on that with a bit more clarity rather than you're in a different key. And like now the tempo is all different too. So
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.